You're listening to a podcast of Reelblack Radio with Mike D and Steph Renee. Fridays 11 a.m. till noon on 900 AM WURD and 900 AM WURD.com.
One thing that remains constant in regardless of what's going on in the world, we all need to eat.
Yes.
And are you a foodie?
I am a foodie.
Okay, so we're gonna have a great conversation.
We are indeed.
Because I don't know, we've had Issa Rae on the show.
Yes.
Before, right? And she's teamed up with G. Garvin,
who I love,
to bring a show that was popular on her web channel.
Yes.
To Aspire TV.
Yes.
And the show's called Butter and Brown, and there's a special pilot presentation airing this Sunday, September 25th at 8 p.m. on Aspire, which is Magic Johnson's label. So
it's all kinds of black folks.
This
is another blackity black.
Oh yeah,
production.
We're going to talk also. We'll talk later about the Urban World Film Festival. Really, just a great time to be black.
Yes.
Unless you got your hands up, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But we're talking about food today. So with us on the line are Seth Brundle and Leslie Antonoff, who are the hosts of Butter and Brown.
Otherwise known as Butter and Brown. Welcome to you both. Welcome to WURD.
Hey, good morning. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you because, first of all, we're talking about black folks and we're talking about food. Mm-hmm. These are things that everybody in our listeting audience can embrace and enjoy. And you're bringing us more of it onto our TVs. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, no. So I made the mistake of watching the pilot episode last night.
Oh. Were you hungry?
It was like 2 a.m. and there was nothing open and there was nothing in the refrigerator. And this brother and this sister throwing down on the shrimp and lobster po' boys and the shrimp and grits from
understand while Mike might like to eat, he is not the I'm going to throw down in the kitchen type dude anyways. I know you must have been caught between a rock and a hard place, man.
It was tough. It was tough because I usually don't watch the cooking shows. I didn't really get the whole thing, but yeah, you can have a whole little experience to yourself just watching these people throw down.
I watch cooking shows all the time, so I am very glad to welcome you all into the sphere and to know that you are bringing my culture back to me on your show. So talk a little bit about how all this came to be.
That's amazing. Thanks so much just for having us. Seth and I always have this conversation about how we got started, and it's so funny. We're just blessed, honestly, to be friends with Issa. So, it's really just a group of friends that think, God has a lot of creativity, and, we have a friend that's willing to allow us all to share that. And so, we came to her and we said, you know what, you need a little food on this network. We need to spice it up. Mm-hmm. So, Seth and I created a show, and she allowed us to do that, and it just kind of took off from there.
Wow. No, but it was to fill a void, though, right? Are there a lot of black? It's like B. Smith and maybe one other.
Remember, B. Smith is going through her situation now.
What I'm saying? Okay.
So in terms of the landscape, when you all think about, how you're bringing a fresh voice to the conversation of cooking shows and cooking networks and what's happening on television, where do you see yourselves fitting in? Because there's plenty of brown appreciation. There's not a lot of brown hosting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's one of the reasons that we created this show. Like, Leslie and I love cooking. We've always done it. We're the ones who are known for that amongst our group of friends. And one of the reasons why we created Butter and Brown and we wanted to move forward with it was because we're underrepresented. Mm-hmm. Leslie and I are huge fans of Food Network and cooking channels. And unfortunately, G. Garvin and Sonny Anderson and maybe one or two others are the only ones on the network, and they're not necessarily mainstays on the network either. So, we just wanted to create the show because we felt like we were underrepresented. A story to tell. We had recipes that we wanted to share, and we wanted to do it in our own unique way. And like Leslie said, thankfully, when we presented it to Issa, she was all about it and, gave us the green light and gave us full creative control to do what it was that we wanted to do. So we're just, we're happy to have the opportunity.
Right. So, but in terms of building a brand, this show first debuted on Issa Rae's channel a couple years ago. And then, so how does it move over to Aspire? And people were saying, why can't I get this on, black-owned TV networks?
And now we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really one of the first questions that people asked, honestly, when we started the show. And it was just such a warm, welcome, even to the space, because instantly people were like, oh my gosh, like we haven't seen anything like this on TV. And it was crazy because people would tweet like Food Network and Cooking Channel and say, have you seen this show? You need to watch it. And you know what's so great about it is, as much as those networks are amazing, it's also so great to know that a Black network saw it and they saw what we were doing. And that means that we were connecting with our audience. And so they thought, wow, look at these young Black people out here cooking. And I think one of the things that we've been able to do is, one, we're back in the kitchen, which is something I think a lot of our parents and aunts and uncles, want us to do.
Yes, yes.
Then at the same time, we're also cooking and we're young. And so our friends are like, wow, maybe I can get in the kitchen and, do that, and I don't have to Postmate everything and Uber Eats
right.
and do all that, So we're glad that we can kind of merge the two worlds and show people, like, cooking is still here. We Black, we like to eat, and we're ready to get it done.
Well, Leslie is so funny in this pilot episode because she's Black food, not always the healthiest stuff, right? So she's saying, all right, well, so we're going to watch how much salt we put in this. But meanwhile, there's like tons of bacon, there's hella pork, hella grits, hella butter. I'm like, oh God, So as the show progresses, how important is it to also promote the healthy lifestyle that we need as Black people in your recipes?
That's absolutely important to us. In the pilot episode, even in the pilot episode, and then moving forward. One of the reasons, or one of the things that we always tell our friends with, their approach to cooking and getting them to get in the kitchen and cook for themselves is it's important to see what's going in your food.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, when you go out to eat, when you, like Leslie said, when you do Uber Eats and Postmates and, go to the fast food line, you don't know what's actually going into your food. You don't know what you're eating, so it's important to see that for yourself. So, we believe in balance 100%. So, we'll have our shrimp and grits with tons of butter and, tons of bacon and 3 different types of cheeses, but then we'll have episodes where we balance that out with, leaner meats and, hearty vegetables and things like that. So, that's what life is all about. We don't want to always, cook with the unhealthy recipes. We also want to do, the healthy stuff too. So,
Right.
That's a beautiful
thing. Health is wealth, but it can be boring.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was laughing. So Mike's grunting as he's hearing you describe what's going into the shrimp and grits, and at the same time, I'm laughing because I love cooking shows, but I'm also as they say, I have a cup on my desk that says a little bougie. So I'm the bougie Black chick who doesn't eat red meat. So one of the things I laugh about on some of these other cooking networks and other shows is the fact that people are obsessed with bacon. Bacon is one of those things where it's like, I haven't eaten it in more than 25 years, but I see other people who are like, oh my God, can't live life without it. And so, this whole idea about balance, how you can be really extravagant with one dish or, something as you're preparing a meal for folks, and then think about how you're balancing that out with other things that you're offering, which I always have to consider because I have a whole group of friends that are very much like me who don't eat this, who are sensitive to this. And so planning a menu for social gatherings and get-togethers is a big deal for us now. We're just in a different kind of space in our relationship with food.
Absolutely. And it's so funny that you say that because last night, I literally had kale chips and sauteed mushrooms for dinner. So I can go from definitely loving a great steak and then just deciding, today is a veggie night.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to have. And so, as long as flavor is where it's at. You can make anything taste good if you know how to season it well. Yes. And so that's something that people have to understand too.
Yes, absolutely. But I want you to know that the two men in this studio with me right now, as you were saying all of that, they're kind of looking with these blank expressions on their face like, okay, sis.
Now, y'all, one of the trademarks, now, in the old web series, you also made sure you had a drink in every episode, and now you have a little room for talk. Can you talk about what else to expect in this new incarnation?
Sure. they said that we're going to be welcoming some guests into our kitchen, which is something that we're excited to do because Seth and I get to kind of give some names out there of people who we just kind of want to chill with and hang out with and have a drink. And so that's one of the things we definitely want to give is that, our kitchen is a place for friends to gather and for us to chit-chat and talk and hear about what other Black people have going on, because that's where the greatest conversations happen is around a table with food. And so I think that's something that we're really excited to show and have fun with, on our 30 minutes of TV.
Yeah, no, and the first guest is Keisha Knight Pulliam, and it's one of the most intelligent conversations I've seen on TV in a while.
And they made Sazeracs. And I also like brown liquor. You all have really touched a deep space in me. I'm going to be a consistent fan. You can believe that.
So you can ignore the red meat if we prepare a dish with red meat. Your brown cocktail. Okay.
That's right. We're always going to find some place where we can come in the middle and we can have some communion in terms of the way that you are planning your programs.
Right.
We love it.
Now, so this Sunday at 8 p.m. on Aspire, which is check your cable listings, we can see the special pilot presentation. So now, has this show been picked up? Are there going to be more already, or do we need to support right in? What can we do to make sure that we get more Butter and Brown?
Watch. That's the best way to. That's the best way to support the network and support the show. We need more viewers. The network will be Nielsen rated next year, so we'll have more opportunities for more ad dollars, more viewership, more of everything. So just watch. Okay. That's the best
but we have been picked up.
Oh, fantastic!
We have been picked up.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So what are some future guests? Have you taped yet?
We have not taped yet, but we have a list of people who, we want to sit down and chat with, and we can't spill the list right now because that's how we're going to bring people back.
Yeah.
But tweet us who you guys think you would like to have on the show. That would be
excellent. And you all are filming in Atlanta?
Yep.
We are.
And so, so now I feel like I need to make a trip.
Okay.
And come down and when you all get your taping schedule together, holla at a sister. We can see, how we can support, Black radio, Black TV. We need to all come together and lift one another up. So and I haven't been to Atlanta in a minute, so I'm looking. I'm looking.
I just
want
to sit there when they're done cooking and the food's left over. Get a little fork and come over and get one of them scrimps. But
like the crew that's coming over collecting all the food.
Yeah, y'all need to make bigger pots. You need big pots. Those little skillets is a little too small.
I was saying you wanted to all look like Big Mama's house.
No, it was torture.
TV magic.
It was torture. I recommend you watch it at 8. That way, there's still time for you to get some food after. Because it was torture for me last night. So, but thank you so much, Seth, Brundle, Leslie, Antonoff.
Yes, thank you so much. We very much look forward to seeing a full season of Butter and Brown as you all get your taping underway.
Thank you so much
for having us.
We appreciate it.
Indeed. So everybody here within the sound of my voice on WURD, ladies and gentlemen, check your local listings because I don't know the numbers for Aspire off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But Aspire Network, it's on all the cable systems,
yes.
And I think it might also be on over the air. So, but it's Aspire's this Sunday, September 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The pilot presentation premiere of Butter and Brown, brought to us by Issa Rae and G. Garvin.
Woohoo! Gonna be a great thing.
You've been listening to a podcast of Real Black Radio with Mike D and Steph Renee. Fridays 11 a.m. till noon on 900 AM WURD. And 900 AM WURD.com. Follow us on your favorite social media like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for up-to-date information at 900 AM WURD and at Reelblack.